Welcome back to Grill This Smoke That. Today we have a special treat for you. Today we are cooking a prime rib. You know, I'm also the Tightwad on Tightwad DIY, and they had these standing rib roast for $6.79 a pound at Publix. So I had to grab one up. We have about a 6-pound roast today. We're going to start today by trimming up some of the fat that is on the top of this prime rib, because fat does not render until about 135 degrees, and that is actually our target temperature today, not the temperature we're going to be cooking at. So I'm going to go ahead and get it trimmed up, seasoned up, and then I'll show you how we're cooking it. I like to trim fat off of these kind of things with a boning knife, and we're just going to take most of this fat cap off today. What we don't want is the seasoning to stick to all the fat and then it not to be edible at the end. So we want the seasoning to be right on top of the meat. And that's about all the fat I'm going to trim off today. You can see I still have a big line of fat here and some fat down here on this end. You can trim this whole end up down here and expose the bones for presentation purposes. Today we're just going to season it just like it is right now. So now let's go ahead and get our seasonings mixed up. I'm going to make our seasoning today. I have some pink Himalayan salt, some whole peppercorns, some fresh rosemary from the garden, and almost a whole bulb of garlic. I saved 3 pieces for the horseradish sauce we're making later. So I'm going to take this and get it mixed up in the Ninja, and then I'll be right back to rub it on the roast. After blending all those seasonings, it looks and smells amazing. So today I have a special trick for you. I'm going to be using this original Allegro marinade. I love this on steaks. If I buy a cheaper quality steak, sometimes I'll use this, but I'm going to use this as my binder today, and it's going to give it a really big punch of flavor. Some people use a Worcestershire sauce or W sauce, but I'm just going to rub it down with this today, trying to keep this hand clean while the other hand's dirty. And then I'm going to put our rub on. I'm just going to kind of press it into the meat, so make sure it's smeared all over. If you rub it around, it's just going to ball up in little piles, so we're just going to try to press it on there today in different spots. Since these bones were cut off, I am going to pull them out and rub some of the seasoning on the inside here. If your butcher did a good job, they left a little bit of piece of the meat attached so that the bones are easier to work with. If you love good grilled and smoked meat, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. With our roast rubbed, it's time to tie on some new butcher's twine. Since the bones are still attached on here, I'm just going to tie 2 on. I'm going to try to make my knot down here by the bottom, simply for presentation purposes, so we just have a string showing on the top. It doesn't have to be super tight. It is going to hold itself together. I really like this butcher's twine because it comes with a cutter in the middle. As always, you'll find a link in the description to everything that I'm using in the video today, so you can buy it for yourself. And this roast is ready to go on the Big Green Egg once we get it stabilized at 225 to 250 degrees. While the prime rib's cooking, we're going to make a horseradish sauce. So I have about 2 parts of sour cream to 1 part mayonnaise. If you don't like mayonnaise, you can leave it out. We're going to add the rest of the garlic, minced, salt, and fresh ground pepper. I have some fresh chopped rosemary, but I'm going to leave it on the side and guests can add it if they want it. Give that a mix, and now we're using some prepared horseradish, about 2 tablespoons. You can make this the day before and let it sit in the refrigerator, but I'm just going to make it now and get it in the fridge, and it'll be nice and flavorful to go on top of our prime rib. To get the egg set up for this cook, I'm going to be putting a drip pan in because I do want to catch what renders off of this roast, and I'm going to pour in some beef broth. And the beef broth is just to keep the drippings from burning. Now I'm going to add the grill grate, and the rib roast will sit right on top of that over the drip pan. I'm going to get the roast on here, and insert my meter probe right into the heart of it. I have the temperature dialed in between 225 and 250 degrees. I'm going to cook it until my internal temperature is about 120 to 125. The internal temp just hit 122. I was shooting for 125. I know the carryover is going to take me up to between 125 and 130. So remember, we're not done yet. It looks good, but not perfect. So I'm going to take this off of here, put it in a pan. I'm going to put a loose foil tent over it until about 30 minutes before time to eat. I'm going to go ahead and remove the plate setter, the grate, and the drip pan from the big green egg and let it get up to over 500 degrees, probably 550 or 600. And 30 minutes before time to eat, I'm going to bring it back and we're going to sear it all over, and then we're going to let it rest for 30 minutes, and then we're going to slice it. It's going to be perfect, and we're going to eat it. All right, we have the big green egg over 600 degrees. I'm going to burp it so it doesn't backdraft on me. We're going to drop the prime rib right down on the hot grates. I switched over to the cast iron grates. We're going to let the flames sear all the seasoning on. So probably about a minute per side here, and then it'll be ready to rest and then eat. With your roast seared on all sides, it's time to get it off and onto the cutting board. Let's get this prime rib carved up. Pull the strings off of here. We're going to remove the bones. Going to slice it right down the middle first so we can see how the cook went. I can already tell it's juicy. First look. It's got the wall-to-wall pink. Oh man, that's beautiful. So you can slice it however thick or thin you want based on how many people are coming. I'm going to keep mine fairly thin. Some people have never tried prime rib that are eating with us. So I'm going to cut about 1/2 to 3/4 inch slices here. The color in the video didn't do this justice. It was cooked to a perfect 135 degrees internal temperature, which is the point where that fat would barely start breaking down, but the meat is not overcooked. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me out. And consider subscribing to my channel. If you want to buy any of the things seen in this video, including the shirts, check the description for links. I hope you guys have a great day.